Imagine that you're hiking a breathtaking trail on Mount Shasta, surrounded by nature's beauty, when suddenly an inexplicable chill runs down your spine. For centuries, Mount Shasta has been shrouded in tales of the unknown. But what if those whispers are more than just folklore? Tonight, we're going to take a deep dive into chilling, first-hand encounters from hikers who walked Shasta's paths and came back with stories that defy explanation. A solo hiker wandered deep into the alpine forest. The wind was still, yet he heard soft whispers trailing behind him. His name was being whispered, echoing through the trees. A group of backpackers found their compasses slowly spinning, their GPS devices failing, and the trail behind them mysteriously altered from what they remember. No one else was supposed to be nearby. Another hiker reported that he was followed by a man well over 7 foot tall in long, flowing white robes with long blonde hair. When he finally decided to turn around and speak to the guy and get a good look at him, there was no one there, but he was sure he had seen him. The hiker wondered if he had just seen one of the legendary Lemurians, which is associated with Mount Shasta. And he said that he felt eyes on him for the rest of the day, but he never saw anyone else. The skeptic response to reports such as these are pareidolia, which is where the mind tries to create patterns from chaos in nature or in the woods or in clouds. For example, where one might think that random bird calls is someone calling their name, or they might think that when they look up in the clouds they see the image of Harry Potter or something like that. That's pareidolia. But I don't think that explains everything, not by a long shot. Other skeptics might point to inexperienced hikers confusing wildlife with other things, or seeing bizarre weather phenomenon, not knowing how to interpret that. Mount Shasta is well known for sudden fogs rolling in and sudden and intense temperature drops because of the elevation. However, local legends hint at something much deeper. Things such as survivors from Lemuria underneath Mount Shasta, alien bases reported to be hidden beneath the mountain, and we're talking about a massive mountain here, over 14,000 feet. Local legends speak of beings from another realm, fae folk perhaps, some other entity such as that. Native American folklore in the area speaks of spiritual gateways to other realms that can be activated with the correct sequences, or perhaps at certain times with the right atmospheric conditions. They say at the gateways, the veil between this realm and the next realm is very thin. Local historians at Mount Shasta can confirm Mount Shasta's centuries deep history with lore about Lemurians coming into the village back in the 1800s to buy flour and coffee and things like that, pay them with gold. then the locals would try to follow them back to see where they came from, and they would simply walk right into the mountain. Other ancient myths and lore going back centuries are well known around Mount Shasta, especially Native American lore. Search and rescue professionals familiar with Mount Shasta warn that isolation can warp judgment, and that strange disappearances with no explanation, think missing 411, occur around Mount Shasta with relative frequency. So, Mount Shasta is a place where a lot of people have disappeared and haven't been found. Even seasoned veteran search and rescue operators that work the Mount Shasta area have to admit that some of the disappearances have literally no explanation. So what exactly is really happening on the trails on and around Mount Shasta? Is it merely overactive imagination? Is it a legend come to life? Or is it something that is not meant to be understood? Have you ever felt that someone or something was watching you in the woods, making the hairs on the back of your neck stand up, giving you that feeling that you are not alone? I'd love to hear about it. Please be sure and let me know in the comments your theories about Mount Shasta or any other wild area, national park, state park, just woods on private property, whatever. I'd love to hear about it. Also, would you hike on Mount Shasta? And if you do, stay aware, because not every footstep you hear echoing is your own.